Salvete omnes. This is Abbey Latin Liber Primus, Chapter 10. This is a lesson on the third declension, masculine and feminine genders. The parts of speech are noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. We are once again working with nouns. Nouns, nomen, named things, named substances, person, place, or thing. As a review, remember that Latin nouns are divided into groups or families called declensions. You are very familiar with the first and second declensions. This lesson is on the third declension, just on the masculine and feminine genders. So a noun cannot leave its declension once that noun is in a declension. So if you were to go looking up nouns in the dictionary, sounds like fun, we have a noun like puella, I, feminine. You know that's an abbreviation for puella, puellae, feminine. That this is the nominative, this is the genitive singular, and this is the noun's gender. And it means girl. So you can tell the declension of a noun by looking at the genitive singular form. You know this. So once again, you go to the genitive singular. It's got an AE pronounced I. You know that that noun belongs to the first declension. This is a first declension noun because first declension nouns have genitive singulars ending in AE pronounced I. So puella I feminine. Also, we have agricola I masculine. Most first declension nouns are feminine. A handful are masculine, like agricola I masculine. The endings are not different. The endings for the first declension, regardless of gender, are I, arm, is, as, is. And those endings are added to first declension nouns, because those are the first declension endings, and they're added to the base or the stem of these nouns. How do you find the base or stem of a noun? You go to that same genitive singular form, and you chop off that genitive singular ending. So if you have the nominative puella, the genitive puellae, you chop off the AE to get puel as the stem. And then if you have agricola as the nominative and agricolae as the genitive, and you chop off the AE, you get agricole as the stem. And then you add the appropriate first declension ending to that stem to fully decline the noun. This is all review. You know this for the first declension, you know this for the second declension. The third declension is no different, except for the endings being different. But let's review the second declension. Second declension has genitive singulars ending in the letter I, pronounced E, like amicus E, masculine. Many second declension nouns are masculine, but many are also neuter and have slightly different endings. So for the masculine gender, we have amicus E, masculine, for amicus, amici, masculine. Same thing, it's a second declension because you can tell by the genitive singular ending, I pronounced E, and you take off that ending to get the noun stem, which would be amic, and you add second declension masculine endings to that stem. Us, e, o, e, orum, is, os, is. Remember that some second declension masculines can end in er in the nominative, like puer or ager. Some can end in ir, like wir. They're still second declension because they have the letter I pronounced E as the genitive singular. For the neuter gender, like bellum, E, neuter, the endings are e, o, a, orum, is, a, is. Slightly different from the masculine. But once again, the genitive singular still ends in the letter I, pronounced E. So for the third declension, these are nouns whose genitive singular ends in is, pronounced is. If a noun has an is and is as its ending for its genitive singular, that noun belongs to the third declension, like mater, matris, feminine, mother. That's a third declension noun. You look at its nominative. That's fun. Look at that nominative. Then you go to the genitive because that's where the party's at. Got an is, pronounced is. That tells you it's in the third declension. And you chop off that is to get the stem matre, matre. Then you add third declension endings to that stem. The rules for the third declension are no different than the other declensions. But for some reason, students tend to have trouble with the third declension. I think it's because they think the endings are so weird. Who cares if the endings are weird? You just attach third declension endings to third declension nouns. Make sure you attach masculine and feminine third declension endings to masculine and feminine third declension nouns. The dictionary will tell you whether the noun is masculine or feminine. For example, like mater, matres, that's a feminine noun. Pater, patres, that's a masculine noun. The endings will not be different. So the endings for the third declension are blank, it's whatever the dictionary says the nominative is. Blank is ema, es, ibus, es, ibus. And you attach these endings to the stem, which you get from the genitive singular. So the nominative you leave alone. The nominative is whatever the dictionary tells you. So if it's mater matres feminine, the nominative is mater. Pater patres masculine, it's pater. Frater, soror. Rex, dux. Whatever the dictionary says the nominative is, that's what it is. The genitive is where the party's at. So matres, patres, fratres, and sorores. You should write out the entire genitive for third declension. Don't abbreviate it. Don't go mater hyphen is feminine, because you need that stem. You need to write out the whole genitive so you get that stem. The stem for mater is matra. You chop off the is ending, you get the stem. You write that stem down for the rest of the blanks, and then add those third declension endings. Is, ema, es, ibus, es, ibus, to get mater, matres, matri, matrem, matre, matres, matrum, matribus, matres, matrebus. Pater, patres, masculine, you get pater, patres, patri, patrem, patre. Patres, patrum, patribus, patres, patribus. Okay, now you try, this time but with the guy on the screen, declining rex, regis, masculine, king.
Rex, regis, masculine, king. Rex, regis, masculine, king. Regis, is, regis, blank, is, ema, es, ibus, es, ibus. Rex, Rex, regis, the dictionary says the nominative is. Is, es, ibus, as, ibus. Blank. Whatever the dictionary says the nominative is. Ragus. Is. Ragi. Raga. Raga. Es. Ragas. Ragum. Ibus. Ragibus. As. Ragas. Ibus. Ragibus. Rags. Ragas. Ragi. Ragam. Raga. Ragas. Ragum. Ragibus. Ragas. Ragibus.
So let us practice again. With pater, patris, masculine, father. So here's the dictionary entry. First, this is the nominative, pater, goes right here. Here's the genitive, patris, goes right here. So the genitive singular, that ends in is, so we know that this is a third declension noun, and it is a third declension masculine noun. When you chop off the genitive singular ending is, you get the stem patra, patra, and we put that stem, patra, down for the rest of the blanks. And now we add third declension masculine / feminine endings. They are the same. So we have blank, is, e, es, ibus, es, ibus. To get pater, patris, patri, patrem, patre, patres, patrum, patribus, patres, patribus. Optime. And for the lulz, let's practice again. Let's watch the declension of a feminine third declension noun. Yes, it is the same as the masculine, but more practice is good.
Soror. Sororis. Feminine. Sister. Soror. Sororis. Feminine. Sister. Sororis. Is. Sororis. Is. Blank. Whatever the dictionary says the nominative is. Is. E. M. E. As. Ibus. As. Ibus. sorores, sorores, is, blank, whatever the dictionary says the nominative is, soror, is, sorores, sorores, sorori, sororem, sorore, es, sorores, sororum, ibus, sororibus, es, sorores, ibus, sororibus, soror, sorores, sorori, sororem, sorore, sorores, sororum, sororibus, sorores, sororibus.
And yes, we should absolutely practice again. Mater, matris, feminine, mother. Here's the dictionary entry. The nominative is mater. The genitive is matris. We know it's a third declension because of the is genitive singular ending. And we know it's a third declension feminine because the dictionary told us so. Mater, matris, feminine, mother. Now, you chop off the is, the is, to get the stem, which is matre, and then you add that stem to the rest of the blanks. And to that stem, we add the third declension masculine/feminine endings, which are blank, is, e, es, ibus, es, ibus. To get mater, matres, matri, matrem, matre, matres, matrum, matribus, matres, matribus. Optime! Very well done. You are now ready to start tackling the exercises that go along with the third declension, starting with exercise A. Valete omnes.